check the audio. You always do.
Powered by a passion purely primal. No
Very
room
quiet.
left on earth for civil life. We just
All right, let me move that up. I think. Bada bing. Yeah, there. Let's see here. Okay. Let me just pop on over to my settings here. Audio. Let me put that at 160, see if that does anything. See how it do. Oh boy, there we go. All right, one moment here. It's been a while. Shout outs to Jeremy 5, ABC approved, and George Lucas for popping in. Very cool. Let me see. They pop up in the Discord. I don't personally have a Discord app, but yeah, figure might as well share on Discord. And let me just put on some acoustic cinematic. No, I think it was Daydreaming. That's the track. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is good. Alrighty. Let me pop on over to the Imaginary Friends Discord. Alrighty. Oh, let me get a nice little drink of my green tea. Have some nice green tea made this morning. And by made, I mean mixed from a packet in hot water. It's gonna be hot. I know I'm just gonna burn my tongue on this thing, you know. You know how it is. You drink something hot, the first sip always burns the tip of your tongue. Very nice. All right, back to this here. Might as well share this on the Twitter too. I'm gonna mute for a second here because I'm gonna be typing. Alrighty. Shout out to Jester of Sin, Arlena's Jester of Sin. Jester of Sin. Chester Cheetah. There we go. Hope you're having a nice morning or afternoon wherever you are. See, I got that over on Discord. I guess I gotta do. I gotta put this onto that Twitter thing. I mean, might as well. Oh, it's been a very windy couple of days here in sunny Southern California. But honestly, no complaints. It's very nice to feel cold again. It was a hot summer. It was a hot summer, and a bit of a warm October over here, I would say. Although I couldn't tell you how last October felt. This October was warm. Anyhow, open up Twitter. I'm gonna paste that, and we'll just put it out there. I don't usually tag people. I'll leave that to the big fish. They can tag all the people they want. But anyhow. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great day too. Good morning, Mr. Bone. Mr. Bone. As I begin to take some more drinks of my green tea. My green tea. Oh, jeez. Yeah, my green tea. Let me open up a tab here. We can take a look at some beautiful art as I try to remember this whole StreamYards thing. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, look at that beautiful thing. You can see all these other tabs too. But this is KaijuZilla at KaijuZilla on Twitter. And let me see, can I full screen that? That's about all I can. Yeah, that's better. KaijuZilla. Lovely picture here. Well, art piece. Godzilla fighting Ebra the sea monster. I had nice memories, fond memories of that movie. Ebra, Horror of the Deep is great. I think Ebra is a great monster. Big lobster prawn type thing. He was cool. He's big too. Big like, I think he's mostly a puppet. Although, he was probably a suit actor. Anyhow, let me just take a nice drink. KaijuZilla. If you want to see some quality art in general, pop on to Twitter, follow him. Let's just pop over to his profile here. Great stuff. Kaiju art and stuff. He also has an Instagram, KaijuZilla_98. I ought to do that in my spare time today. Let's see here. Bada bing, bada boom. We got some things that we'll talk about later here. Let's see. A lot of here we go. I like this one too. Batra. Oh, he did a great Batra. Ooh. Oh, that was a big drink right there. Big gulp. Oh. It burns. Burns the throat, but it burns good. Woke up a little froggy in the throat today. Froggy, Anyways. KaijuZilla, great artist. I'm pretty straightforward when it comes to Twitter. I like to follow artists and stuff. Got Orga here. It's great. Just wanted to open up with that. Goodness, it's been a wonderful month. Of course, earlier this month we celebrated the 68th anniversary of Godzilla, which was wonderful. We got some wonderful announcements too. Let's pop over to this tab here. Oh, that's not the tab. There we go. We got and they announced a first look at Godzilla DLC for the game Giga Bash. It's over on the PS4 and I think on Nintendo Switch too. We got a look of Godzilla's model here, or the look of the back of Godzilla's model, along with one of their original kaiju that they made for that game. That's just kind of the warm-up. The warm-up here. We had big news saying that a new Godzilla movie will be released November 3rd of next year, 2023. This will be a Japanese Godzilla movie. I know it kind of sounds funny to say a Japanese Godzilla movie, but obviously, the past few years we've had a lot of American productions, such as Godzilla vs. Kong and all of that. And let's just take a quick moment here to say hello to Fat Steven, JFG, GC Fat Gamer. Wonderful to see you here. Hope you're having a decent enough time. Gotta say, it's been a nice week. I played a lot of God of War Ragnarok. Beat the story mode. As if there's other modes. I beat the main story of God of War Ragnarok. I was largely pleased. I might talk a little bit about that later on. But in addition to a new Toho-led Godzilla movie, we are also going to have the official title for the Godzilla vs. Kong sequel has been revealed. Godzilla and Kong. This is just a shot because Patrick, Duke of Memes, tagged me in this. He's hoping that they fight Destroyer. Let me just pull up an image of Destroyer so to kind of give you an image, because we got lots of different people. Well, maybe not lots of people that pass through here, but we have a few different people. Let's just pop up a Destroyer. Destroyer. There we go. Destroyer. From the movie Godzilla vs. Destroyer, 1995. Wonderful monster. Great monster here. Let's just see here. Gojipedia. Oh gosh, I hate that when you pop open a tab, click an image, and it goes straight to the Wikipedia page. Open image in new tab. There we go. Look at that big devilish boy right there. This was really fun. Obviously the Monsterverse, they've gone pretty big. I mean, Godzilla 2014, you had original monsters with the Mutos. You had two Mutos fighting Godzilla. Kong Skull Island, I thought that was much more interesting. The monsters in that, the enemies in that, with the skull crawlers and all those other bugs and things on Skull Island. And of course, we went to King of the Monsters, which really ramped it up to 10. You had Rodan, you had Mothra, you had King Ghidorah, King freaking Ghidorah. And that was, honestly, a lot of people view that as like the high point of Godzilla's enemies. To the point where when the title Godzilla vs. Kong came out, people were like, how the hell is Godzilla gonna lose to Kong after he beat freaking King Ghidorah? That is amongst some of the critique commentary around that movie. But in that movie, we also got some other monsters. We got Warbat or Nozuki, the big serpent, winged serpent. I feel like they could have just called that Quetzalcoatl or whatever, go with that whole Mayan Aztec mythology type thing. But that was cool. And then, of course, you had Mechagodzilla, who personally, I was kind of on the fence on, but he was pretty good. Excuse me. Let me have another drink. Let me stir my tea, my hot tea. Let me stir my tea. Let me take a drink. Let me narrate to you on this lovely Friday morning. Yes, it is Friday. Anyways. Oh, that's good. It's at that point where it's not scalding hot. It's at that nice sweet point where, you get a hot drink, you drink it, and it doesn't burn your tongue, but it's just hot enough where you feel it. And it feels good. It burns so good. Anyways, back to Destroyer. I think Destroyer. I'm just going to say Destroyer. I think Destroyer could, and that's the big word there, could be a wonderful addition to the Monsterverse, or at the very least, a great spectacle. Let me just pop on back to there. I said that'd be sick. Let me open up the quote tweet. After seeing how they did Ghidorah and Mecha Godzilla, Destroyer could be a really interesting monster to see. If they do go with him, then I'd hope that they go all out. Have Destroyer infesting the Hollow Earth with different adult and juvenile forms appearing worldwide. Hail the Time Prophet. It isn't morning, by the way, lol. I didn't ask. No, just kidding. I was a bit sassy right there. Oh, you popped in after I said, oh, good morning, and whatever other time it may be. I gotta give a little sass to this sassy guy here down in the chat, the Time Prophet. Hopefully you're doing well. But yeah, that's kind of one of the interesting things about Destroyer. He's not just a single monster. He's a conglomeration of various organisms. Here's some deviant art. There's some deviant art fan art, you know. Destroyer is a very big, complex monster. Starts out, you know, organisms mutated by the micro-oxygen of the oxygen destroyer back in the original 1954 Godzilla. Just take a look at the toy here. Images here. Open image, new tab. This kind of gives you an idea. You know, he starts out little tiny things, little tiny crab guys. They get bigger. They shoot lasers. Then they combine. They Voltron together into this supersized monster. You know, obviously, the Monsterverse, if they ever did go with Destroyer, they'd kind of have their own design philosophy. But there's a lot of great potential there. Like, imagine swarms of just crabs and car-sized monsters just attacking people. You know, kind of like similar to, Cloverfield, where there's the ticks and they attack people. You think I should get winged? That's funny. Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of potential. I wouldn't mind a big alien invasion type thing for, you know, Godzilla and Kong, that movie that has been announced for the Monsterverse, you know, the Legendary Studios production, you know. It'd be cool. I wouldn't mind. I'd like more robots. With Godzilla versus Kong, they've kind of established that humanity is at the point where they can make big, giant, robotic creations that can fight on par with a Titan, or even greater than a Titan, a monster in that universe. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. We also got this great announcement here. Let me just close this tab. This is Kaiju News Outlet. It's kind of my one-stop shop for a lot of the Kaiju news that I get. Kaiju Tokusatsu news. Gamera Rebirth will be an anime series that will happen on Netflix. It'll release on Netflix. And it's going to have Heisei Gamera trilogy director Shusuke Kaneko. And, you know, he has given this his blessing, this production. You know, wonderful. Empire State Building can be Kong. Yeah, I'm glad you saw that first movie. Glad you saw that, man. That's cool. It would be wonderful to see King Kong in this new continuity just walk by the Empire State Building, walking through New York. This is exciting stuff. Gamera. Let me just pull up some images of Gamera in case, you know, for the uninitiated who aren't familiar with him. Gamera. Giant turtle that breathes fire. Now, this is Gamera was made kind of to capitalize on the success of Godzilla, not to replace him, obviously. Gamera is made by a different studio, Daiei, and they wanted to make some money off of all the success of Godzilla and King Kong at the time. So they created their own monster, Gamera, giant fire-breathing turtle who can also fly. He's got jets coming out of him. Wonderful. King Kong Electric Monkey Lou. Yep. Want to see King Kong breakdancing in the new movie? Hey, maybe you should write to them. Maybe they'll throw that in at the end. Post-credit scene. King Kong dancing to the Donkey Kong rap. DK Donkey Kong. Here's some other shots from some Gamera movies. They got pretty out there. And that was kind of the charm of it, Gamera was had a lot more humorous things with him. Gosh, Mystery Science Theater. They have some hilarious commentaries on some of the older Gamera movies. Oh goodness. But some of the great movies, some of the most beloved movies, Gamera movies, were the Heisei trilogy. Gamera, Guardian of the Universe, Gamera, Attack of Legion, Gamera, Revenge of Iris, those kind of things. Those movies were great. They kind of brought a more serious tone. They had just some amazing suits that really competed with the Godzilla movies at the time. Let's see. Open that up in this tab here. Yeah, that's not the best quality photo screenshot. But Gamera, I think it's cool. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since we've had Gamera. Let's just pop on to the Wikipedia here. Let's take a look at what the last Gamera movie was. When was the last Gamera movie? 2006 with Gamera the Brave. Over the years, there have been a couple attempts at reboots. Just some little short proof of concept trailers, cinematic type things, but nothing solid. He's kind of just been, maybe not dead in the water, but he's just kind of been in the background. A lot of people, and when this announcement was made, a lot of people were like, oh, let's get Gamera fighting Godzilla. Which would kind of be a Wright's nightmare, honestly. It'd be like, to compare it to some other things in the modern day. It's like, oh yeah, let's get Godzilla fighting Frankenstein, things like that. Or maybe more accurately talking about like the Spider-Man situation or the Hulk situation, where it's like, yeah, technically Marvel can make Hulk movies, but Universal Pictures owns the rights to a solo Hulk. Although it's a lot different because, you know how things go. Obviously, people who know more about the whole thing is, the whole logistics of it all are a little, would be better to comment on that. Let me take a drink of my tea here. Now, you would be surprised, or you might not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if you already knew of this, but Toho made a Frankenstein movie called Frankenstein Conquers the World, in which the living heart of Frankenstein was smuggled out of Germany near the end of World War II to Japan, whereupon it was irradiated by the atomic bombs that dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, thus allowing him to grow to a size where he could fight giant monsters. This is him fighting Baragon. Don't underestimate. Yeah, That is right, Boone. Don't underestimate Frankenstein. And even in this story, Frankenstein was the underdog against Baragon. I mean, this was a fire-breathing monster in this scenario. But it was great. And honestly, this is honestly one of the most underrated Toho movies out there. Frankenstein Conquers the World is often not remembered. It's not as fondly loved as its sequel, War of the Gargantuas. War of the Gargantuas. Some great stuff. Ah, gosh, I love this movie. These are the spawn of Frankenstein. So at the end of Frankenstein Conquers the World, basically, depending on what version of the movie you watch, big earthquake happens. Some cases, he gets like defeated by a giant octopus. But basically, the genetic material of Frankenstein splits off, and you got these two offshoots of him, Sanda and Gaira. Oh, look at those X Plus statues. Look amazing. Let me open this up for you. Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Uno momento. I love this background music that I got on. Very nice. Very nice. Let me tell you, Time Prophet, you got some weird stereotypes, bro. You got to break down that racist narrative. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not calling you racist. Americans are supposed to drink coffee. I drink whatever I want. That is true, though. It is Frankenstein's monster. He is the monster of Dr. Frankenstein. It's very true. Oh, goodness. Goodness. Let's see a battle between Mongo and Kong. Yeah. Hit me with some radiation. The kind of radiation that won't kill me, but turn me into a giant monster. Or, you know, throw me in a cage with a gorilla and we'll see how that goes for me. It wouldn't be very long. It'd be a pretty quick fight. Let's see. Well, we got that. We got this. One could argue that Dr. Frankenstein was a monster too. That is true. Oh yes, recently I watched a video from Sal Caprino, a toy monster YouTuber. He was doing a review of Leonard Toy's Big Boss Gorilla. And so it's pretty neat. It's a neat little toy. You know, to call it little isn't exactly true. It's 17 inches tall. Quick, let me just convert that to centimeters for our friend, the Time Prophet, because I know he's going to comment on that. He's about 43 centimeters tall. So it's a big boy. It's a big toy. Anyway, Big Boss Gorilla, and this is kind of just something neat, something for the toy entrepreneurs out there. Leonard Toys, they kind of do a variety of, I guess, more child-friendly. You use millimeters too. Oh, well. All right, let me give you the millimeters here. So it's about 431.8 millimeters. Of course, you know, I just gotta shift over the decimal. I can give it to you in meters too. It's less than half a meter at about 43.4318 meters. That Kong has been fighting with Wolverine, yes. But I find it funny. They call it Big Boss Gorilla. They have their little line of toys, Primal Clash. Something that's great with this is he has some articulation. Obviously, you see him; he can stand up on two legs. He can go on all fours, the gorilla, like a gorilla. That is a silverback. You are correct. It's actually Big Boss Gorilla. No, giant posable mega monster. I think something that I enjoyed with this is obviously, let's just compare this to another toy that Leonard made a few years back for the movie Rampage with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. They had Rampage the movie, Mega George. So I will say, this was kind of neat because it came with a little Dwayne Johnson toy. It's like 3 inches tall, you know. But anyhow, you kind of see the basic structure and skeleton is there. Posable arms. The legs are able to move on a swivel so that he can get down in that four-armed on that all fours pose. Oh gosh, I love the Rampage series of games. I'm not as big a fan of the movie Rampage, but for what it was, it had some funny stuff. It had some funny stuff. Some cool smashing action. But, you know, obviously you had Rampage, the movie, Mega George. They made George albino in the movie. I guess they kind of make him a little more iconic so that people are like, oh, yeah, that's just King Kong. But, you know, you make a white gorilla, you know, an albino gorilla. Everyone's just going to say, oh, yeah, it's white King Kong. It's a white King Kong. A white back. Then way back, we'll go a little further back in time to Kong Skull Island. Leonard also made a King Kong figure for that movie. An 18-inch tall King Kong figure, where the articulation was a lot more limited. Really just arm articulation and a little bit of head swivel. I am aware of that, the Time Prophet. They're very fun games. He was very soft. I don't know. He's still the same species of gorilla, I guess. But he was an albino. Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't have a giant-sized Lizzie and Ralph toys. Let me see. Yeah, I didn't really like how they did Ralph in that movie too. They kind of just made him weird. They gave him the ability to glide like a squirrel, flying squirrel, and he could shoot out spikes from his tail. I don't know. Lizzie was good though. I mean, big crocodile, alligator. Anyhow, it was wonderful. Oh, there's some art. Just pop that open again. Some art that I showed earlier in the stream here. Kaijuzilla on Twitter. Beautiful art of Godzilla fighting Ebra the sea monster. But real quick, we're going to start to come towards the end here. So, this last week and a half or so, I played God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok. Oh my goodness. This was a fun game. It's a very fun game. Let's put that on the screen there. God of War Ragnarok. Let me just make a little banner here. Mild spoilers for God of War Ragnarok. Add the banner. Show that. Mild spoilers for God of War Ragnarok. Anyhow, so, you know, if you haven't played the game, don't worry, I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of everything. But God of War Ragnarok picks up a couple years after the 2018 game. Played this, had a really good time. Really good time. You follow Kratos and his son Atreus in their journey to defeating the Norse pantheon of Aesir gods. It was a pretty good time. I really enjoyed the first 3/4 of the game. If I'm honest, I think the last quarter, the last 3 to 4 hours of the main story kind of felt rushed. Actually, really felt rushed. And I think there were some payoffs that really just didn't feel earned, Really didn't feel earned. Let me just finish off my tea here. Yes, now my tea is not hot at all. It's warm, but ooh, goodness. Pardon me. They talk to each other using Norse code. Let me just say, if you enjoyed the 2018 God of War game, I think you're really going to enjoy this game. At the very least, on a gameplay perspective, you get so many more enemies. So many more enemies. You get a better variety of bosses. I think for the most part, all the bosses are more interesting than the 2018 game. Like off the top of my head, the 2018 game, you had Baldur, you had Magni and Modi, you had the dragon. And that was really it. You fought Baldur a couple times, and then you also had the Valkyries as side bosses, extra bosses, challenge bosses, basically. But as far as the main story bosses go, there's just so much more in God of War Ragnarok. You also get a nice variety of monsters. You get a variety of dragons and drakes. Big crocodile monster called the Dreki. You get to fight. You don't fight very many trolls, but you can find trolls to fight in this game. Is that you on the left? Mongo thinks. I wish. Boy, God of War. Let me see. There's the gravel belly. It's really, it just looks like a giant, like, freaking monster. It just like looks like a beast. A lot of nice variety there. I will say they brought some good visceral attacks back in the 2018 game. When you did like a critical, like a finisher on an enemy, most of the time it was kind of just the same animation because the enemies were limited to Draugr. You had the frozen guys. I couldn't really tell you what those guys' names were, but shout outs to Papa Cotton. Hope you're having a good day, whatever time it is for you. Just some mild things. I'm not getting into specifics with God of War Ragnarok. I think it was overall a good game. I'm still playing through a lot of the side quests. I will say something that I've read online as well. Definitely try and do as many side quests as you can before you get to the final stretch of the story mode. I have never roller skated. I can tell you that much. So I will debunk that, saying I've never roller skated a day in my life, and I probably will never roller skate. Growing up, my mom just didn't want us to roller skate because she didn't want us to get hurt. Yeah, I never roller skated. Good question though. I don't know where you're hearing all all these generalizations about California but in America, but I guess maybe it's maybe that's the kind of stuff they put in the British TV. All these American stereotypes. Nah, I don't really want to roller skate, honestly. I never felt any pull towards it. In regards to God of War, the visceral attacks, there was really like one really good one in the 2018 game, and that's when you fought the wolvers, like the werewolf guys. You have this great kill animation where you basically like you beat the crap out of this werewolf dude. You grab his like his jaw and you rip his jaw off, and it rips off like the front part of his chest too. Like you peeled him like a banana. And they kept that animation in this new game, which I was very happy about. I was like, oh yeah, dude. In addition to that, you get a lot of different visceral attacks, like kill animations with your various weapons, the Blades of Chaos, and Leviathan X, all those things. And you get blood. You actually get blood. You're not just fighting blue guys with blue blood or Draugr with like orange and yellow blood. You're like chopping up people. You're chopping off. There's some really cool animations that kind of cycle through. There's one where you just chop off some dude's arms and they just look down at their stumps and they're like, oh. Another where you use the Blades of Chaos to just cut off a dude's head with the chains, like superheated chains. This is really cool. Really great. I wouldn't be surprised if it won Game of the Year. Granted, the only other like recent game that I've really played, other than Overwatch 2, Overwatch 2 ain't gonna get Game of the Year. It's the same as Overwatch 1. Let's be honest here. But the only other game that I've really played that would compare would be Elden Ring. Elden Ring, I'd also be happy with that. I also would be happy with some Elden Ring DLC. Come on. Let's get some DLC for that thing. Oh man, King Kong could totally roller skate. Oh my gosh, yeah, he'd get a bus or something. He'd get a transit bus and he'd just be skating on that. I could totally see him on a big like suspension bridge, like the Golden Gate Bridge, grinding down the bridge on a transit bus. Oh gosh, it is funny. Gosh, I was doing a lot of work on skate ramps this week for work. Oh gosh. Work. Oh, Burnout 3. Yeah, Burnout 3 is freaking sick. Oh, such a fun game. It's like whenever I played a game as a kid, you know, you're playing against your friend, you're racing each other. It's like, yeah, I'm going to try and crash into you. A lot of games that I played, a lot of racing games that I played didn't do that. Then I played Burnout, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah, man. This is great. This is amazing. But, yeah, let me pop that off there. Take that off the screen. Ah, there we go. We're gonna start closing it out. I'll take off this banner there. Real quick, I want to make sure that I talk about really quickly this movie that I watched last night. It was incredibly good. It was incredibly good. I watched it on Netflix, but it released this year. It is an Indian Telugu language epic action drama film. It is called RRR. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, like, you know, in its native language, but it's really good. It's a really good movie. Let me see here. Let me open image in new tab. Oh gosh, that image is incredibly tiny. Open image, a new tab. Bada bing, bada boom. You can't watch Indian movies because there's too much dancing. Oh, yeah, you wouldn't like this movie because there is a lot of dancing. Well, there is like a couple dancing scenes in this. Oh, I really enjoyed this. So yeah, you won't like it. You won't like it, Time Prophet. But this was a lot of fun to watch. Goodness, there's no images that are like bigger than 500 pixels. Like most of these images I'm clicking on. Ah, there we go. That's something. Open image and new tab. Just sharing it with some other things. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Open image. Yeah, there we go. Let's see, share screen. There we go. RRR. Rise, Roar, Revolt. It's cool. It's a good movie. All right, let me just pull up some of the Google info, the Wikipedia info. There we go. That's the word. So, Rise, Roar, Revolt, 2022 Indian movie. Now it's based on real life figures. So it's set in the 1920s. Centers around two real life Indian revolutionaries, Charan and Ramarao. It's basically kind of how they met each other and how, like, before they actually started up their whole revolution in India. But I thought it was really fun. I had a blast. Yeah, I was like looking for things to watch, like you usually do. On Netflix or whatever. And I watched this, and it was amazing. I'm not gonna read that, Time Prophet. That's you could voice that stuff however you like, but I'm not gonna read that on my stream. Anyhow, it's a great thing, great movie. I'm going to close this out, and yeah, thanks for passing on through, guys. We had a lot of familiar faces down in the chat. We had Jeremy 5, we had Jester of Sin, we had Bone, Fat Steven Seagal, we had Time Prophet, of course, had Papa Cotton, and yeah. Alrighty, guys, I will see you later. Well, you don't just love John Wayne movies. Oh, you just love John Wayne movies. Oh, you love that stuff, yeah. I was gonna say, I'm like, well, yeah. So, alrighty, well, guys, I'm gonna see you later. Be kind to each other, please. Just be kind. Don't be dicks. All right, don't be punks. Anyways, that's my 2 cents. That's my takeaway for this little stream. Just don't be a dick to people, okay? Even if you're joking, it's still a dick move. Anyhow, I will see you later. Bye-bye.